and no clothes, nothing. Government cannot give us everything we want. And as a youth, the little you have, you can use it to establish yourself.
Given a voice to the voiceless. 101.1 FM. Listen.
We declare that human rights are for all of us, all the time, wherever we are and wherever we are from. This is a matter of individual justice, social stability, and global progress. The United Nations protects human rights because that is our proud mission, and because when people enjoy their rights, economies flourish and countries are at peace. Violations of human rights are more than personal tragedies. They are alarm bells that may warn of a much bigger crisis. The UN's Human Rights Upfront Initiative aims to heed those alarms. We are rallying in response to violations before they degenerate into mass atrocities or war crimes. Everyone can advance the struggle against injustice, intolerance, and extremism. I call on states to honor their obligations to protect human rights every day of the year. I call on people to hold their governments to account. And I call for special protections for the human rights defenders who courageously serve our collective cause. Let us respond to the cries of the exploited and uphold the right to human dignity for all.
Human Rights Radio. Human Rights Radio.
In a world filled with questions, many were called, two were chosen. Reality comes to play. Stories are made. Moments when you feel the fever. 1 hour. Arguments. Controversies. Questions and answers. Tensions rising. And more arguments. One man. One woman. One show. X-Ray. X-Ray. Airing live on Human Rights Radio. 101.1. Abuja. Welcome to the 25th of October 2017. Today is another beautiful day where we bring to you your very exciting and welcomed program, X-Ray, right here on Human Rights Radio 101.1 FM. Today we'll continue from where we stopped, but the story certainly never stopped. It keeps ringing, and it will keep ringing until we get to the bottom of the matter. Welcome to X-Ray on Human Rights Radio. Like I said, yesterday on the program, we took a look at the issues surrounding the reinstatement of the embattled former chairman of the defunct Presidential Task Force on Pension Reforms, who is on the wanted list of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, but not in their custody yet. However, he obviously is in the custody of the media. In that sense, it simply means that we still have stories surrounding him right here on the media. And the reason for that is for the alleged 2 billion naira pension fraud, among others. And today, we will still be looking at the same issue. Afterwards, we'll now switch to another topic. I'm not alone in the studio. As usual, I have Oikeke Igado. It's good to have you once again.
Thank you.
We'd like to welcome Olive Nwoke Onokwai.
Good morning, Mr. Peter.
If I don't add that Onokwai, she takes it personal, so I need to always remember that. Senate seeks the sack of Malami, Dambazo, and others as APC describes his return as an embarrassment to Buhari and the party. The senators resolved yesterday to probe the controversial return of Abdulrashid Maina to the civil service, the public service, anti-corruption, interior and judiciary committee is to investigate the circumstances surrounding the recall. The committee is to determine how Maina was reinstated and promoted to director. Now, the upper chamber said the development became even more serious, especially when Maina is wanted for alleged fraud. In a similar development, the ruling All Progressives Congress has asked President Muhammadu Buhari to not spare anyone found to have been involved in facilitating Maina's reinstatement into service. The party said it was shocked, like any other person, as it is almost unbelievable that such a thing can happen. Maina was declared wanted by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, for his alleged involvement in the mismanagement of about 2 billion naira pension fund. He had reportedly disappeared from public glare only to resurface in October 2017 and take charge as the acting director in the Ministry of Interior. Amid resistance to the development from Nigerians, President Muhammadu Buhari ordered Maina's immediate dismissal and demanded a full report of the circumstances of his recall. The APC spokesman said the party is optimistic that those found to be part of the development will face appropriate consequences. The APC is one party that has appeared to have come right after the statement of the People's Democratic Party condemning this dastardly act, something we remember as of yesterday. Governor Fayeshebe Ekiti State had condemned, likewise the Senate, and more condemnations are still trooping in. It's really a big issue, isn't it? Let's start with Oikeke.
APC's response, it should be like that really, because the Maina saga is going to be a serious dent on the image of the administration that we all and everybody or most people believe is out to stamp out corruption. One of the main things that they are promising Nigerians is corruption will be out of the country, at least to a minimal level. The Maina case, like I said, is funny. And it brings us to asking so many questions. A man who was declared wanted, and how did this man come to the country? We're told that he's been around for the past 6 months, and he goes around with security agents. So who deployed these security agencies to guard him? At what point, how can he sneak into the country? And nobody knew, even with our security apparatus. So it's a dent on our security apparatus. It's a dent on us as a nation. And so the thing should be that APC administration, let's say President Buhari's administration, should not take this very lightly if Nigerians need to trust them, because they need to. Remember that time some years back when the case started. The man disappeared, and then after some 2010,
7 years ago.
And then after some time, nobody heard anything about Maina again. So that's not the kind of.
I also heard that he has disappeared again. It's emerged again. Like a lot of people saying that he's not in the country. Some saying he's in Dubai. Some saying, So it just might be the same issue. But like she rightly said, I think this is a test. A litmus test for this current administration. You may recall very well that one of the criticisms that greeted the Goodluck Jonathan-led administration was his lukewarmness in fighting perceived cases of corruption. And I think the Muhammadu Buhari administration, which wrote on the belief, as in what actually warmed them into the hearts of people was the belief that the government is actually going to fight corruption, and I think they really need to sit up. This is not just about Maina now, it's about every other person involved in his reinstatement and, of course, promotion. So, he may be out of the country. First thing is to, of course, try to know where he is at the moment, try to see how he can be brought to answer to the charges which he has been running away from answering for years now, and then to also investigate the circumstances surrounding his reinstatement and promotion, because actually that is what Nigerians want to hear, that the people involved, anyone fingered in this particular issue, that the action is being taken against anyone fingered in this particular issue. It's not just about Maina now, it's about a whole lot of other people involved in his you know, coming back to the country, reinstatement, and of course promotion. It's not about trading blames who reinstated him or who did not. It's about trying to find out who did, and of course
my sister, the person responsible for reinstating him, you think that person should be absolved?
No,
the person should not.
It cannot be. That is exactly what I'm saying. You need to find out, because the minister have come out to say, I have no hand in this, but he is you know, currently under your watch. This is your ministry. You did not from all the reports I've gone through, he was not the one who raised the alarm that, look, there is a wanted man under my watch.
Who was it that raised the alarm?
It was the media.
It was a media, you understand? So he only came out after the report to say that, you know, as a minister, I have no hand in who gets reinstated.
Likewise, the head of service.
That is the head of service.
But the head of service
Came out to say, it's not me. So it's not about, you know, singing the Shaggy song, wasn't me and all that. It's about, you know, trying to carry out investigation. Let's find out how this came to happen, because it's actually, like I said earlier, a test to the administration, and the government must at least use this to prove, you know, to the people that they are capable of fighting for
and
matter.
The Maina issue, the Maina saga, has clearly defined, or clearly made to know clearly that there are high-powered powers, level powers behind him. I mean, if not, how can Maina, that we've been looking for the past 7 years, come into this country? And then he did not just come, he has at the chase, security at the chase. We had SSS police guys are the ones following him. Who deployed those officers to follow him? And we're told that he was traced to Kaduna. At the point that he was traced to Kaduna, I mean, how come we did not pick him immediately? Is it that, why didn't we pick him when we knew that, we traced him to a hotel in Kaduna State? So why did we leave him there? He was a wanted man. So it's a combination.
How many people are we blaming here? Is this a blame game? Is this a blame game?
As if it's a chain.
All right, so why don't we count the chain? Who is the first to blame? Is it the president? Is it the head of service, the minister? Or are we talking about the APC being responsible? Who exactly? Or is it the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission who is to blame?
There is lapse on the part of the security operatives, because I mean, you have a wanted man. This man has been on your list for so long. He came in through,
and even the Interpol was alerted.
Exactly, he came in through an airport, right? He didn't fly into the.
How would you know?
Okay,
we have a former governor who disguised himself to look like a woman, and at some point he couldn't be located until later on.
Even if he tracked into the country,
passport.
And even if he even tracked into the country,
it means our borders are porous.
Yes, that's what it means.
We have always, but does it make it right? The fact is that we really need to at least step up. That it means any.
No, because when you keep saying the security is to blame, at what level should you blame the security? At what point should you blame the security? It's possible that they've been looking for this man, but he's been too much ahead of them. We've seen that happen. I gave you an example with a former governor.
We don't believe he, Maina, should be ahead of a security apparatus. We expect that there should be, in front of him. They should be able to know that, yes.
Even like it's, one of these top people that are wanted in the world that we say, okay, they have a whole lot of ways they can. That even cannot.
Harry Spice said that Maina is a man of 9 lives. We usually would say 99 days for the thief, 1 day for the owner. He probably hasn't gotten to the 99th.
Yes, because we still can't find him. If he can get into this country without us knowing, and I think he can also get out without anyone knowing.
Finally, I read something yesterday online. It's coming from one civil society organization. That is also to show the extent at which he has spread, or maybe he has an influence on people. I read something about how a particular cabal, how a particular group of people is trying to tarnish his image since he's coming out, to be governor or whatever this thing. You see, these are some of the things. These are some of the things we get to hear when we delay justice and investigation. In the first place, why should we even wait till now to be discussing? Why should we even wait for the media to even, blow the whistle before we start discussing this?
After the initial noise about
Maina, he was a wanted man years back, and then he came back not a wanted man because he set up appointments for Monday before this whole issue blew up, and then he was nowhere to be found again. And that also brings to the question, what is he hiding? There could just be more than we know, because
what if he didn't receive an invitation from the security agencies, or probably wasn't aware he was on the wanted list, and he probably was just walking?
I will be wondering why he left the country in the first place. And
why wouldn't he? Wouldn't you leave the country?
He was invited many times.
At the moment.
He was invited many times. But
have you invited him on the media and he refused to come?
If he feels the cases against him are framed up, he should come and clear his name.
He should, if his hands are very clean, I think the best thing is to come, yes. For him to be running, it gives us the idea that something is wrong, that things he's hiding.
Wrong, of course, because like they say in the court of law, every criminal
you presume innocent,
proved guilty. But in this particular one, it's just somehow.
What about the APC? Is it commendable what they have accepted? I mean, they've said that the party is shot like any other person. Any other person could mean even those in the PDP. And
that should be
it's quite unusual seeing one party, especially the ruling party, accepting something from the opposition. We've seen that in the last administration. This administration, obviously, the APC is accepting some of these things and are actually saying, we accept that this is shameful, we accept that this is our fault, and this should be condemned, and they've also asked the president to take it seriously.
That is their fault. I didn't hear them say it's their fault, but of course it's commendable that they came out to say, because for me, I believe that evil is evil, no matter from whose camp it's coming from, whether from the APC, from the PDP. The most important thing is that as a party, as a person, as a government,
well, but they said they were
should
shocked.
be interested in is, delivering good, governance to the people. Not about, okay, because it's coming from my party member, then I should keep quiet. Because, like a popular philosopher said, evil thrive when good men keep quiet. It's a very good thing that they came out to say, no, this is unacceptable. Like every woman in Nigeria, we condemn it in its entirety. I commend that.
And what about you? Commend the APC on that?
Well, what the APC said should be the most decent thing to say. What else would they have said? This is happening under the watch anyway.
Is it the first time we've seen political parties deny the realities on ground?
The question should be,
no,
is it right for a political party to deny the reality on ground?
Well,
we have a law, we have a justice system. If they are denying it, it means, they are absorbing one of their own.
But this is even very obvious. Can they even deny this? This is quite obvious. This is, like I said, this is happening under the watch. So, I mean, can they even deny it? But for them coming out to react this way is positive to me anyway. But then, I mean, how can anybody, what else would they say?
Okay, let's take a very quick break on Human Rights Radio 101.1 FM's X-Ray. When we come back, we'll X-ray other developments. Remember, the Senate has sought the sack of Malemi Dambazo. Others, as the APC described his return as an embarrassment to Buhari and the party. Olive thinks that this is not an acceptance of a fault, sort of. But when we come back, we'll find out more and eventually get to open the phone line. Stay with us.
This is Human Rights Radio 101.1. Redefining broadcasting.
Security is the degree of resistance or protection from harm. It applies to any vulnerable or valuable asset, such as a person, dwelling, community, item, nation, or organization. There are, however, various types of securities, such as preventive, detective, as well as responsive security. Hello and welcome to Security and Safety Anyanya, a program designed to tackle security and safety issues in our environment. This now program, we could give you an opportunity to call and take yarn with our mind on the kind security and safety challenges we will not face and how we not take handle them for our area, even right from we not domot. In the course of the program, we go dey bring come studio people wey don sabi security and safety matter well. As una know say, no be only police and soldier be security people wey we get. We get people like the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, when they call NSCDC. We get vigilante groups where people know as Yambanga, scouts and other people then for this area where they try their best to protect us and our property. Catch security and safety anyanya with ordinary president on Human Rights Radio 101.1. Security and safety anyanya for a security conscious Nigeria.
Human Rights Radio.
The program is called X-Ray, and here we take a look at the topical issues making the rounds across Nigeria and beyond. And the key issue on ground now that we've been discussing is the issue of Abdul-Rashid Maina, who is definitely in trouble. The president has received the report, or sort of like the memo from the head of service on Monday, as confirmed by the spokesman to Mr. President, Femi Adesina. And we've been talking with Olive and Oikeke. Obviously, the APC has made its point, and it's totally a condemnation of that act. And they've called on the president to, met out the right punishment eventually. But again, I know that the president will definitely need to investigate. He would rather just, take. What are you thinking about the mind of the president on this?
Well, I would expect the president to do the right thing. He started the right thing by at least asking that he be, asking for him to be removed. So I would also expect him to do more, like Oliver Twist, go the extra length of trying to find out the people involved in this whole saga, and of course do the needful, because that is actually what most Nigerians are expecting him to do.
The Senate seeks sack of Malami, Dambazo and others.
They also set up a committee to investigate, the allegations surrounding his reinstatement and, and all that. But the most important thing, like I said earlier, it's not about setting up committees and all that, and at the end, you end up not hearing anything, even when the committees submit their reports. This is an issue that may not be allowed to be swept under the carpet. So whatever they are doing, they should do it for the interest of the people, because we are all here. I'm also part of the people. We are all here watching, and the end result is actually what matters.
You think that Malami will go and Ambazo? These are henchmen of the president, and when I say a henchman, I mean in the proper format of it. The Interior Ministry should be close to the president. Likewise, the Ministry of Justice.
Well, this is Nigeria, but we're expecting that things are changing, and things that are not good should change. If we look at the past, we've not had issues where the people are sent packing very easily, even when serious things happen. But I think that this is the time, because the Maina issue started during the last administration, which this administration termed corrupt. So if it happened then, and in this administration, this man also wants to play with us as a country, play with us as Nigerians the second time, I think we should not allow this to happen. I think the president should take it a step further and ensure that what happened in this case during the last administration does not happen. Because the last administration, he disappeared, and he just came in because the dust is settled. Probably he thinks, okay, nothing is happening, nobody is talking about it again, and then he came. And he didn't not just that he came and also tried to put sand in our eyes by trying to take a position in our federal service. Just like that.
Is this probably why the Senate has said Dambazo must go?
Yes, because I think they should believe he is lying.
Let's look at this scenario, Olive. If, for instance, it turns out that the head of service is the one that gave that permission, how do you see it panning out? Is Dambazo still responsible?
As long as Except he claims he wasn't aware of any corruption or any, corruption allegations.
But what if he's aware of the allegations?
If you're aware of the allegation, I will expect you to raise the dust. Except, of course, he comes out to say, I was the one who instigated, or I was the one who pushed this particular media house, to bring it to the public eye. If he is the one, we can now consider it as, okay, maybe he feels, maybe in a way he was handicapped, but he wanted the public to also know about it. But if he was aware and he did nothing about it, I think just like every, people will say, nobody is indispensable. If he is found to be involved in this, or if he is found to, be aware of it and he kept quiet, the normal thing is to let him go. I mean,
yes, that's the most honorable thing to do.
The position.
Between
in
the
fact,
two,
elsewhere in the country, if someone is embroidered in this kind of saga, the person will even come out himself and say, I give up, I resign. So I don't know why we don't do it in the country. The whole Maina issue, it's actually funny and and all that, because this is a man whose team led blew the whistle and of course led to the prosecution and conviction of a particular man, John Yakubu, that was alleged to be involved in stealing about 2 billion naira of police pension. If he did that, it means he believes in our security operatives and of course the judiciary to do the right thing. So why will he, of course, now not make himself available for trial?
Was that a question for me to answer?
He probably wants.
I'm so sorry, I don't have an answer to that.
John should not be the one with this money. He should get into my pocket. Maybe.
I just feel that Olive is putting me on the spot to answer what I don't know. I wish I had an answer to that. Well, talking about convictions, Nigerians want to see the first conviction under the APC government led by President Muhammadu Buhari. We've seen quite a number of EFCC-ridden cases, but of course, none has gone to jail. But if any one of them ends up in jail, well, prisoners may be able to vote in 2019, says INEC. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has said it is making arrangements with the Nigeria Prison Service to ensure that prisoners are allowed to vote in the 2019 general elections. So it's quite a hopeful gist. Now, the chairman of the INEC, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, said this in Abuja on Tuesday at a dialogue session with the Nigeria Civil Society Situation Room Dialogue, a coalition of over 70 civil society organizations in Nigeria. I'm yet to see that forum with members of the media. We hope that agencies begin to realize the importance of the media and not just the civil society organizations.
I mean, Peter, without the media, I'm sure we wouldn't even have known that Maina is in this country and is even in the Ministry of Interior to start with.
Because if media is invited, I personally will know. We're not aware of that. It's very important that we're very much involved in this, and as a matter of fact, so that we're also in tune. Because many times members of the media are accused of giving wrong information, and this is part of
because the right information is not out there.
It's very important that we get involved. And the development comes 3 years after a federal high court in Benin, Edo State, ruled that prisoners in Nigeria have the right to vote in all elections conducted in the country. Let's take a look at that story. The Federal High Court sitting in Benin, Edo State, as reported in December 19, 2014 by a certain newspaper. It says it has held that prisoners in Nigerian prisons have the right to vote in all elections conducted in the country. Time for sports for the inmates. Justice Mohammed Liman, who made the ruling in a suit by Victor Omenue Onome Inaye Kabiru Abu Osage. My brothers and sisters, I will halt on the names for now. But they did that on behalf of inmates of Nigerian prisons against the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, and the Controller General of Prison Service. Also directed the defendants to ensure that the applicants were not disenfranchised. So it's their right to vote, obviously. And what's your thought about that, Olive?
Yeah, I really do think that the right to vote or not to vote for a prisoner should depend on how severe their crime is. Like if someone is maybe convicted for the murder of the father or the mother, something that relates to mental issue, I would think the person may not be, in the best position to actually know who the right candidates to vote for.
If at all he didn't know when he was killing somebody or something.
You understand? Yeah, that kind of this thing. But then again, of course, a prison should be a place of rehabilitation. And then it's just like, some governors and even the president sometimes grant pardon to prisoners. And there's a way they assess inmates to know who have changed and, all these things. Of course, they should be allowed to vote. Is very commendable, but one can't help but wonder why it's taking 5 years, because 2019 will make it 5 years since the ruling for them to commence voting.
A lot of things are changing, just like we said. The way we look at prisoners should begin to change too also. In the prisons, of course, in our prisons we need a lot of reforms, and the lot of issues that are going on there that affect these people. These people are Nigerians to start with. You have the right to limit their movement, but that right as Nigerians still remains. So they should be allowed to vote, and because so many things that they have issues with, and they need some changes to it, especially in the prison reform. So they should contribute to this change by ensuring that they elect the right people. But what I do know now is that, are we also going to start taking campaigns to the prisons? How will these people know who is the right candidate and all that? But I think INEC must have put all these things into consideration.
They are going to set up polling booths in the prisons, and if they are going to, of course, set up polling booths, it means, of course, there will be a kind of awareness campaign or something, a sensitization of inmates to also make them know, okay, these are the people coming out to seek for elective position, and then one also will kind of wonder how they are going to know who is who, especially for someone who has spent a long period of time in the prison. I don't know if they have access to DST satellites, to know what is going on in the outside world and all that.
All right, so you can be a part of this discussion on 081 89991011. Let us know your thoughts on X-ray this morning. Make your contributions known across the Nigerians. Remember, put off your radio set before you call us up, and as much as possible, maintain a sense of decorum in your statements and be radio friendly, please. Hello?
Hello, good morning. Excellent.
You're welcome. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Ifeanyi from Buhari.
Oh, good to have you, Ifeanyi.
Thank you. I think I need some clarification on this issue of discuss this morning.
Okay.
Concerning inmates. I think inmates are prisoners. And who is the prisoner? I think the prisoner is the one who has committed an offense and is denied of some of his rights. And is being taken in a place to see attempt making them participate in elections. It also means they can also fight for elected positions also. Because factor is the right to vote and to be voted for. And anyone is still made to not be disenfranchised. That means all the rights to be given them, let them be freely and going to market, do all sorts of things. I hope they not just to why they start their prison time.
Okay.
So I don't know why sometimes we bring up issues just for argument. Anyways, you can still keep them disenfranchised. If other rights are denied of them, they need to be disenfranchised. If not, if the right of contact is given to them, let the right also be released for them, let them also enjoy other fundamental rights as well.
Okay.
Thank you, and
if I just to quickly add, it's based on what they fought for. They fought for the right to vote. They didn't fight for to be voted for, and eventually they won that case. And INEC obviously has to follow the interpretations of the law as interpreted by the judiciary. So let's wait and see when they will fight for the right to be voted for.
I'm not even sure the Nigeria Constitution permits someone who is actually presently serving jail term prison term, because jail is actually the short term to be voted for. I'm not sure that.
Hello. Welcome to X-Ray.
Yes, my name is Maina Advocate.
It's good to have you on the program. Go ahead.
Yes. Let me start from the issue of prisoners.
Okay.
How many of them have PVCs? And if they have, are they with them right there in the prisons? Or will they be allowed to come home and carry and pick them to do election time? We should stop wasting time on the people that are outside, the free people. How credible are the elections with the people outside? So to me, it's a waste of time, because if you look at the condition of the prisoners right now as they are, we should be talking about whether to allow them to vote or not. Because first of all, like I raised the first issue of we have PVCs, or will they go and issue them PVCs, or what are they going to go about it? That is on the side. The main issue of Obama and the issue of Maina. First of all, Maina, some of us have been watching the happenings in this country. Someone like Abubakar Malami, the chief law officer of the country, the minister of justice, he has been progressing in error right from time. But he has come out to thanksgiving it, because documents were coming up that the head of service shown out says he is the one that actually wrote the memo recommending Maina to be reinstated. The first place that the minister of justice.
Please feel free to call us up. Mike, the change advocate, I understand that it's a network problem. We apologize.
In response to his first question.
Just hold on a bit. Let's get this reaction first. Hello? Hello?
Hello, good morning.
Good morning and welcome to X-Ray.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead, please. Go ahead.
You see the problem we're having in this country is that our security agents, our government has a serious assignment to do. This person is declared on one side for how many years? Then there is no any means that this man should enter into Nigeria. And if the security agents they are working, they are carrying on their operation properly, they have to be able to capture this man before even talking of the person that recruited him. The question is, how did man manage enter Nigeria when he declared a young friend? In fact, Nigeria is in the trouble unless God comes into our aid. Welcome, my brother.
Thank you very much for your contribution to the program. Go ahead, Olive.
Yeah, I said in response to Mike's first question, actually, the Independent National Electoral Commission actually came out to say they are going to set up polling units there, so they will be allowed to register there. And then when it comes to election time, they will also cast their ballots, in the prison facility. And the second issue that he raised, which is their living condition there, I think that is even more of a reason why they should be allowed to vote. If someone is going to spend 20 years in prison, then the person should be able to also enjoy it in a way. If you embark on a tour of some, prison facilities in developed countries, yourself, you also want to go to prison. You may want to go to prison. So if someone is in prison, allow him to vote. So he should decide the person to,
But again,
the person might, in a way, if the right person for them comes, might be able to change their living condition.
One of the issues quite a number of Nigerians have raised is the credibility, because even those that are not imprisoned have had issues of credibility with elections. So if now we're not going to be there to monitor, how then can we be sure that this is for real?
No, of course,
it won't be hijacked for some reasons.
It's not the inmates that will officiate the voting process. Of course, the Independent Electoral Commission.
You do know that the generality of the population will not be allowed into the prison during the voting process.
Of course, but INEC officials will be allowed if it's the ad hoc or staff or but it can.
And other security agencies should be present, and it's a sensitive place. So I think INEC is aware of this, and they should know that they will put extra measures in place to ensure that it's credible in those places. And I'm sure the population may not be too much for them to manage and handle. And besides, it's not all the prisoners that we vote. It depends on this is
from
Go ahead and make your contribution.
Yes, sir. I have some little problems there. I get an accident last year, so the letter can't operate my center.
Okay.
So now, I come down there almost 5 times. So I'm not going to get past.
Okay.
So now, I think I will take somebody directly to
Okay.
The Thomas Federal High Court. I went there, so I didn't know how they were going to take it on. Yeah.
Okay.
But, my head I need at first.
Okay.
But the things when I get my property now, everything down, everything. I don't say everything down. I didn't go down now. My leg is broke. And I didn't have any.
Okay. Do you have somebody that you can send with a letter? Person will go fit bring letter come our office with all these things. Make you write them. Forward them. Make them write them. Address them to the executive media strategist, Human Rights Radio.
I don't have anybody around
that you can send.
I don't have anybody around me. I don't go alone. Only you. I don't have more than enough, but I don't go alone.
You know, get friend where you go fit send with letter
or neighbor. Nobody will know you.
Thank you. Let me just check.
Look for somebody, make them bring them. You go write your phone number and every information so that when we receive them, we go fit attend to them.
Okay, no problem, sir.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
We'll take a very quick break on X-Ray. When we come back, we'll take a look at some of your calls and reactions before we wrap up the program. Stay with us.
Human Rights Radio.
My country people, I throw away salute come reach me now for this beautiful day where Baba God they allow all of us see. This na talk camp for your language. Our Oyinbo people talk say unity in diversity focuses on the existence of unity even after lots of differences of culture, religious and social beliefs. No be small thing, no. Nigeria na country where God don't bless with different boku languages, and then talk say we get over 520 languages where we dey speak for this our Nigeria. My people, which one you follow join body? You sabi speak your language, abi English don't sama your brain. Oh yeah, make una follow call. Make you tell us where you dey from and the language where you dey speak. Make una speak that language, no use English mix am. If you do am, na or job your case. Talk come for your language. Na the ogbonge program we go showcase the plenty languages wey full ground for Nigeria with ordinary presidents on Human Rights Radio 101.1. Make sure say you follow body.
Human Rights Radio.
This is Human Rights Radio 101.1. Redefining broadcasting.
Welcome back to X-Ray on Human Rights Radio 101.1. Keep your calls coming. We're still discussing the issues on ground. Elections to be taken to the prisons in Nigeria in the next season of elections. And, of course, the Abdul Rashid Maina issue is still trending. Let's take the calls.
Hello.
Good morning. Please put your radio set.
Good morning.
You're welcome to the program.
How's work, sir?
Fine, thank you.
Actually, about the Maina.
What's your name and where are you calling from, first of all?
Okay, my name is Jibril Mohamed Yahya. I'm calling from Wari.
Good to hear from you, Jibril.
Actually, in the case of Abdul Rashid Maina, at least the Minister of Interior and the Chief Justice of the Federation and the Head of Civil Service, they need to be questioned because they're supposed to know everything about him, because I think maybe actually I cannot remember, but he was declared wanted by the EFCC before. So as they go to that place and when they know that they are looking for him, they not give him all those up to from the assistant director to the directorship this way. So they need to be investigated. The issue need to be investigated.
Okay.
And sir, I have a little complaining again.
Okay.
Don't know whether I should go ahead about it? I don't know.
Whatever it is, because of time, just go ahead and do what we ask the other person.
Okay. Actually, I'm visual impaired.
Oh.
I think I wrote a letter about the application and submitted to the Ahmed. I don't know anything about it.
You know, sometimes you have to be patient. There are loads. If you see the letters, it's not easy. So
okay, no problem.
They usually take it gradually. Yes, sir.
Okay, no problem. You're welcome. Thank you very much
for your patience. Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Goodbye.
Any reactions?
Well, like somebody said.
Okay, let me just hold you there. I'll get back. Hello?
Hello?
Good morning.
Hello? Hello?
Good morning. We can hear you.
Morning, Mr. Peter Kondo.
You're welcome to the program.
Hi, this morning.
We thank God. How is yours?
Thank God for your effort, for your work. God will reward all of you in other things.
Amen, and God bless you too.
Amen. I want to comment on the issue of ground. It is very embarrassing in Nigeria and the whole world. As somebody of that nature that might not have the ability for a kid to this country, he was not permitted, and he has to enter. I'm not senior director. And people around are claiming that they don't know what is happening. This is clear sign that the people that the federal are gathered around need to fight corruption. You cannot help him to fight corruption. This is a simple fact. That they are very disappointing, and if we continue working this way, we cannot fight. We can fight corruption. These people around you, people supposed to rely on. They are not. They cannot carry around there, and they have make it like this only. It's very, very opportunity. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your contribution. Let's drop the course for now and face our panelists. What are your final comments before we wrap up the program?
I think we should begin to see people resign from their appointments, especially the main people that are involved and claim they don't know what happened, even right under their watch. We should begin to see them resigning. This is not good for us. This is not good for the administration. This is not good for our fight against corruption. And we should go a step further. The president should ensure that Maina is brought out this time. He has disappeared again, and he should be brought back. I think Maina, it shouldn't be too difficult to trace and get this man. I mean, we are in this world, and we know what the world is now. The world has been reduced to a global village. We should be able to narrow down and key, and then bring him out and let him explain himself. That's how it should be.
Olive?
And we need to begin to see lots of people being convicted. But then again, on the issue of prisoners to vote, I think I really needed to add something on that particular issue. I think we as the media, as men of the fourth estate of the realm, what we should begin to do now is to, since they said voting will depend on how severe your case is, let's begin to ask questions, let's begin to be on them, to know the number of people in each prison, to know the number of inmates we have at the moment, number of people in each prison facility, and the number of people that will be allowed. Which prison facility
is qualified?
The number of people that will be allowed to vote. Because why I'm saying this is because concern is rife out there that this might just be another way to rig election. Because we won't be able to know what goes on in the prison.
Just like I mentioned earlier. But you did say you would love to be in prison, or what did you say earlier?
I said you may want to be in prison.
Why would I want to be in prison, Olive?
You answer.
Now, wow.
It's not me or you.
No matter how fine a prison is, she's trying to say that when you go out of the to developed countries, their prisons are like 5 stars,
and that she would love to be in prison.
No.
So that she can get to vote in prison. Ladies and gentlemen, that's where we wrap up the program. Extra, we'll see you tomorrow, and then afterwards, next tomorrow. It continues like that, Monday to Saturday. Have a great time and enjoy the rest of the day. My name is Peter. Bye-bye.